Okay, so this is interesting stuff. We have some reports about Doctor Strange in Avengers Doomsday. Just coming off this article from Variety, I'm on Culture Crave right now. They're talking about Benedict Cumberbatch says he will not appear as Doctor Strange in Avengers Doomsday. He'll be in a lot of Avengers Secret Wars. Now, this comes from Variety, so when you go over to the article, it's a long ass article, so we're going to kind of have to go through it, kind of read through it. Benedict Cumberbatch tells all on Doctor Strange's future, his new other stuff. He doesn't like to overshare, but sometimes he just can't help himself. Take the 2 hours we spent on a recent London afternoon discussing his new film, The Thing with Feathers, a dark drama about a father struggling to hold his family together after his wife dies suddenly. While the film paints unvarnished portrait of a man in crisis, Cumberbatch feels awkward talking about how he channeled that. Yeah. There's a polite reserve to Cumberbatch, as well as a discomfort with the trappings of stardom. Still, there are moments when his guard drops and suddenly he's telling all. Cumberbatch is best known for playing Doctor Strange, the brilliant but arrogant Sorcerer Supreme in 6 Marvel movies. It's the role that gave the 48-year-old actor box office cred and made him globally popular. His likeness adorning t-shirts and toys, and it's a part he will continue to play as the Avengers keep battling existential threats. But Cumberbatch has just let something slip and he seems momentarily horrified by candor. You see, he just told me that Doctor Strange is taking a hiatus in the next Marvel sequel, 2026 Avengers Doomsday. Is that a spoiler, he asks? Fuck it. Huh? Okay, so Avengers Doomsday, he's saying he's not in. Undeterred, he shares that things changed when Jonathan Majors, whose character Kang was intended to serve as the main antagonist of the next phase of the comic book film franchise, was fired in 2024 after being convicted of assaulting his ex-girlfriend. Cumberbatch's absence from Doomsday has to do with the character not aligning with the part of the story, and though he probably shouldn't be saying this, he also reveals that Doctor Strange is in a lot of Avengers Secret Wars, which will hit theaters in 2027. So just based off of what I'm hearing right there, it feels like it's going to be something similar to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, when characters like Hawkeye, who becomes Ronin for a little bit in Avengers Endgame, and then, you know, Ant-Man for a little bit is out of commission and then becomes, he's ultimately the reason why they do what they do in Endgame. Could we potentially be seeing something like this, where Doctor Strange isn't really featured in Doomsday, but he's kind of like a later addition to kind of defeat Doctor Doom? I mean, I'm doing glass half full right now, but that is crazy. And the fact that he went from being a big part when Jonathan Majors' Kang was there to not even being in the film is really interesting and shows that they're not taking much inspiration from the other things. He's quite central to where things might go, Cumberbatch teases, and he hints that the character, last seen casting spells in 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, will appear in a third standalone film, but is hesitant to say too much beyond praising Marvel for being collaborative. They're open to discussing where we go next. He says, who do you want to write and direct the next one? What part of the comic lore do you want to explore so that Strange can keep evolving? He's a very rich character to play. Complex, troubled man who has an extraordinary abilities, so there's potent stuff to mess about with. I'm not gonna lie, I screwed that on up. I'm not gonna lie. Avengers movies consume much of Cumberbatch's time, but when he's not busy being a superhero, he's leveraging his stardom to finance smaller, riskier projects that allow him to keep growing as an actor. They include, okay. Now, I think when I was scrolling down a little before, I was just kind of like going really quick through it. He was talking about Doctor Doom and Robert Downey Jr., I think. It was initially difficult, Cumberbatch says, to figure out how to stay relaxed while working inside the Marvel machine. With its green screens and set pieces and rewrites and reshoots, he confesses that his turn as Doctor Strange in that first film was a bit stiff. Observing Robert Downey Jr. and Holland banter in Spider-Man Homecoming made Cumberbatch realize he should take a looser approach to being a superhero. I learned a lot by seeing how at ease, and I don't know what that says, they are. He says it's hard to, because you have this huge apparatus around you, but it's so important. It's partly why he's excited that Downey, who appeared to have closed the comic book chapter of his career after Iron Man died at the end of Avengers Endgame, will rejoin the Marvel's franchise. This time he's playing Doctor Doom. It was a secret so tightly guarded that Cumberbatch only found out about it while watching the live coverage of Marvel's 2024 Comic-Con presentation, where Downey's return was the fan event's final reveal. Cumberbatch immediately grabbed his phone and messaged Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige. I texted, "What the fuck?" and then quickly added, Good, what the fuck? I mean, good, what the fuck? Cumberbatch also says these movies, which cost hundreds of $1 millions, comes with pressure, but Downey helped keep things on light on set. He would rib Cumberbatch by referring to him as Mr. Shakespeare and allude to their shit history playing Sherlock Holmes. Now, I think that's pretty much everything about that. He is teasing a few things here that is really interesting. He's teasing the fact that though he may not be in Avengers Doomsday, which is a huge blow, I don't know really where they're, if he's not in it, there's so many characters that are in that movie there was so many different things coming out. Captain Carter, Chris Evans returning as potentially Nomad, not even Captain America. Robert Downey Jr. obviously is Doctor Doom, and then Anthony Mackie I think is Captain America. But now we're getting things that certain characters aren't going to be in the movie, and I think that Tom Holland's Spider-Man is supposed to be in this movie, as Spider-Man 4 is supposed to come out after. I don't know if it's after Doomsday or after Secret Wars, because they're supposed to come out kind of like close to each other. But this is really interesting, the fact that he's not in there. But he's teasing the fact that he's not in there. We got through that. But he's going to be in a lot of Secret Wars. A lot of Secret Wars could be cool. I remember a report a while ago was that the main three after Chris Evans, Captain America, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man, and Chris Hemsworth's Thor was going to be, I think, before he sadly passed away, Chadwick Boseman's Black Panther. I think they were going to do Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, and he was supposed to be a big thing too, but also I think Spider-Man, I could be wrong. There was a lot of different reports at the time. But he's also teasing Doctor Strange 3, which is cool. I mean, I feel like didn't they like kind of tease what's going to happen in Doctor Strange 3? Not tease, but didn't they have like a kind of a set path with that after credit scene? I don't know. I don't know. I think by the time we see him now, it is going to be like 5-6 years, right? I mean, 2022 was Multiverse of Madness, and now we're going into 2026. Yeah, it's going to be 4 or 5 years, because it's not going to be till 27 when Secret Wars comes out. Do you think this is potentially that he is just saying this because he's saying this, kind of similar to Andrew Garfield's I'm Not the Werewolf thing? This could be interesting. But let me know what you think of this down below. Thanks for watching today's video.